Good afternoon, and welcome to Lunchtime Lift. I'm your host, Ryan Kearns, and I'm here to share positive, inspirational stories today that can get you amped up and ready for the rest of your day. Right in the middle of the day, every single day, 12 noon today, I'm hopping on at 11:30 a.m. Reason being, it's been a rough, crazy morning. I just got done running a 5K for the first time ever. Not actually running it for the first time ever. I've run many 5Ks before, but this was an actual scheduled event 5K where you're running with a huge 600 group of people, which was interesting, new for me. I've run a lot of 5Ks before and I've gotten my time better and better and better, but this was the first time I've run with a group of other people at an event like that. And it's interesting trying to kind of like slow down and make sure that you're not bumping into the person in front of you. I feel blessed and grateful that I was able to finish this 5K, and I found it pretty easy. I was nose breathing the whole time. I wasn't out of breath, breathing through my mouth, gasping for air. It was pretty easy, pretty simple. I just pushed right through. Me and my son finished, no problem. Didn't stop once. So he's 9 years old. He's actually 8 years old. He's about to be 9. But congratulations to him. His name is Wyatt. And myself, congratulations to me for putting in that work, showing up as a dad, trying my best to do that 5K. So that's how I started my day off, and I figured I would just jump on. I just got home. I'll jump on real quick, do some quick news stories. I had a hard time finding really positive news this weekend, but I found two things that I can share with you that we can talk about. One of them being, if you feel like you're falling behind, you're watching the correct video. If you feel success envy, you look at someone else that has more success than you and you feel jealous, you feel hurt, you feel, man, I have to get there too. Why am I so behind? Why are they ahead and I'm behind? I deserve more. If you ever felt like that, this is the correct video for you. You're in the right place. We're going to talk about that today. And then, of course, as always, we're going to round it all off with a reading out of the Daily Laws, which is a book by Robert Greene. We're just going to we're going to go to the date that is today, December 13th. It's a Saturday. We're going to go to December 13th in the Daily Laws, read today's passage, and just reflect a little bit, meditate on the idea behind the passage, and, see how we can take those learnings and bring them into the rest of our life and show up as a better person today, tomorrow, and through. I hope you're getting ready for 2026. We are coming up quickly to 2026. We're only about 2 weeks out from a brand new year, a brand new version of ourselves if we wish to reach out and grasp that, if we wish to create something new for ourselves, if we want to push forward, if we want to try something new, if we want to become healthier, if we want to become happier, have better relationships, have better businesses, have life working in our favor with everything running on all cylinders. 2026 is your year, and I'm trying to help people gear up for this and get ready by simply sharing positive, inspirational news every single day on this channel at noon or 11:30 or whatever in the middle of the day every day, so that we can kind of just bring that energy with us through the rest of the day. It's so often that we have a really rough morning and then things just go downhill until the day is over. This show is built to help people get over that little hump in the middle of the day and push into the rest of the day. And not only that, it's here to kind of give inspiration, give hope, give positive news stories, not just the constant negative bombardment that we're hit with every single day of bad news going on around the world and terrible things happening. There are good things happening. There are good people out there. And from my experience, most things are good. And so I'm here to share those types of stories so that we can just stay reminded, keep that top of mind, and remember that there's good things going on too. And life is beautiful, life is positive, and we can keep growing through this thing that we call life. It doesn't always have to be hard. It doesn't always have to be an uphill battle. We've got this. We can do this. And so I just ran that 5K. I'm feeling good today. Take some deep breaths. Get a little stretch, a little squatting action going on here. Maybe stretch your arms up to the sky. Get ready for this day. Okay. So the first news story I wanted to share with you today is pretty simple, pretty straightforward, but it is this. drop dead gorgeous road in Theodore Roosevelt National Park finally repaired after 6 years of people not being able to access this park. So let's read into this a little bit. One of the most beautiful drives in the Midwest, the South Unit Scenic Road in Theodore Roosevelt National Park, is finally reopened after 6-year closure. The reconstruction required a $51 million investment from an important park fund and the Department of Transportation, as well as a level of engineering that a North Dakota senator described as remarkable. So pretty cool. This is in North Dakota, it sounds like. It grew into one of the most popular attractions inside the park, which itself is the most popular attraction in North Dakota. So this is the main park in North Dakota, but for the past 6 years, people could not access this specific part of the park. And so now it's been reconstructed, rebuilt, and it's almost like building a bridge. You're building this stuff on the side of a butte, very steep, and it's on sandstone. So the structural engineering that went into this is pretty remarkable. So just a reminder, there are some amazingly smart people out there working on projects to make sure that we can have access to these beautiful landscapes and these beautiful places to go with our family, so we can view life itself and see parks, see things in front of our eyes, see nature and everything that it has to offer. So I think that's really, really awesome. Great job to all the people involved in this project. Each year, approximately 100,000 vehicles explore the South Unit Road as part of their park visit. In 2024, the park's 733,000 visitors contributed an estimated $56 million in local communities. So it was a $51 million investment to get this back up and running, but their visitors are paying $56 million a year. So that's a pretty profitable, good idea for North Dakota to get checked off their to-do list. So really cool stuff. Just kicking this off nice and easy with this really cool national park reopening. That is absolutely amazing, especially for people that live in North Dakota or are visiting North Dakota. If you've ever been to this park, let us hear about it. Write it in the chat, write it in the comments. Let's get some attention around that, because I've personally never been to North Dakota. I've never been to this park. I just thought it was really cool whenever they rebuild something that's been through so much, and people are dying to get out into nature and be able to access some of these national parks. It's great when they get rebuilt and re-accessed after a long time. So cool story there. Next, let's get to the crux of this thing. Let's get to the meat, shall we? So are you feeling behind in life? Here's how to deal with success envy. So I read this over. I really like the way they put together this article, and I just wanted to share some of what it has in here for you, and also give some reflections, some ideas that I had after reading this. It says, social comparison isn't inherently harmful. It can help us gauge where we stand or inspire growth. Like, some people, including myself, like we will look at like mansions or like things on Instagram of people succeeding, and it's so inspirational and cool to see. Other people see that stuff and they feel terrible inside. They feel like, why don't I have that? Why does that person have it and I don't? They feel jealous, they feel envy, and it eats them up inside every single day. And it may or may not drive them to become successful. That's a whole other story. But just the negative feeling that comes with it doesn't need to exist. And so that's why I think it's a good thing to talk about. Too much of it often leads to shame, envy, and resentment, and the distorted highlight reels we see on social media only intensify these feelings. That's so true, because, when you're looking at someone's highlight reels or you're looking at someone's Instagram, you really are just looking at highlight reels. You're looking at the peaks of their life, of their day, of their year, of their week. You're seeing the times that they went to the fancy hotel, the time that they rented that fancy car, the times that they went on that private airplane. You're not seeing all of the normal times where they're sitting at home bored out of their mind, or the times when they're, sad because someone that they're close to passed away, or the times that they're, struggling because their health isn't working the way that they want it to. We don't see all that. What we do see is the beautiful moments in their life, and they post that. But most people don't consistently post the hard times that they're experiencing as well. So it's important to realize that when you're looking at this stuff, you're looking at highlight reels, you're looking at the peak of people's lives, you're not necessarily looking at reality. So, number one, identify what comparison is really triggering. You might assume you're just feeling jealous, but digging deeper could uncover shame, insecurity, feel of failure, or even burnout, says Dr. Hafiz. So this step is about observing your emotions, not judging them. A technique called affect labeling, naming your feelings out loud or writing them down, can help reduce their intensity and make them easier to manage. That's fascinating. So if we're just feeling, let's say we're feeling a certain way, like we're feeling like jealous of this person, we could write down, all right, that's just a feeling of jealousy. That's normal. And labeling it does allow us to process it faster and get over it faster and move back into becoming a good version of ourselves faster. So other people just hold up a mirror. In many cases, comparison isn't about them at all. It's a reflection of your own unmet desires or fears. So it's really important to kind of reflect on these things and think about why do I feel insecure? Why am I feeling like I'm not good enough just because this other person is crushing it? This other person is having such a good life. They have this really cool thing that I wish I had. Why does that make me feel less than? And digging into that, trying to unpack it and understand it will be helpful. And it's helpful for me when I do that. It says, are you unhappy with your current job? Do you feel pressured by family expectations? Are you comparing your timeline to someone else's because you're unsure of your own goals? And so I think the more clear we can get on why we're feeling specific emotions and, going through this specific phase, the clearer we can get on what emotions we're trying to feel, what we're trying to accomplish, what goals we're trying to hit ourselves. So often people look at other people's lives and they say, man, I wish I had that, but they don't have the goals that actually match up to that other person's life. When you ask them what their goals are, they're like, well, I don't know, I just want like enough to get by. And you're like, well, that person that you're looking at, that you're jealous of, they didn't just want enough to get by. They wanted enough to thrive and change generations of their family. These are two different mindsets. This person's willing to do way more than what you're willing to do. And so I think that has a lot to do with that triggering feeling of insecurity. But step 2, take stock of your own wins. It becomes all too easy to think I haven't done enough when in fact you might have made enormous progress just on a different path. I know I'm guilty of this all the time. I look back and I say, man, I'm not doing enough. I haven't done enough. I'm not even close. I have to keep going. And does it keep me going? Yes, it does. It makes me show up every day. It makes me continue putting in the work. It makes me continue trying my best. But is it true? Or am I just ignoring the wins? Am I ignoring the things that I would have been so proud and happy about just a year prior? For example, I'm building LimeWars.com where I'm helping people with Lyme disease and co-infections, and people are actually changing their lives. I've seen people go from not being able to walk again. I've seen people get better after 28 years fighting Lyme disease. Using my approach and the tools that we give them, they're able to start to take back their body. It's really, really cool. It's one of the coolest things I've ever seen or been a part of or done in my entire life. But oftentimes I'm like, man, we're not doing enough. We're not reaching enough people. We're not, making enough content. We're not showing up as much as we should. We're not placing enough ads. We're not getting in front of enough people. We're not reaching enough people that need our stuff. And it's so easy to just only focus on the people we're not reaching rather than looking back and saying, wow, I've already helped 300 people this year. I've already helped in total almost 3,000 people over the years. And here I am worried about the, maybe 100 or so, or maybe a couple thousand people that I haven't reached yet, when in fact I should be grateful, I should be present, and I should be happy that, we're changing lives every single day and we get to do this work. We're not forced to do it. We get to do it. And so that little perspective change and having boundaries around that and understanding that insecurity and those feelings and the idea of my own wins being mine, I think is going to go so much further. And it's so worth it to try and create that mind frame in your life. And so I see people struggle with this all the time. They don't take stock of their wins. They don't look at what they've done right. They only look at what they're missing and what they've done wrong. And it's not our fault. Our brain is set up that way to look for what's missing, look for what could go wrong, look for the negative instead of for the positive. And that's part of the reason why this show exists. I want to help you look towards the positive. I want to help you kind of start seeing that there's good things going on all around us. As long as we open our eyes, we're open to it, and we move towards those things. And finally, step 3, map out goals that are truly yours. I think all of this stuff is so worth thinking about as we're approaching 2026. We're getting towards that place where our goals are becoming important, are building out a system that's going to help us move towards our goals in 2026 can make or break the entire year. So This is the time of year when I like to map things out. I like to understand what's going on during which months, what I need to be focusing on during which week of each month, and everything else. So I could spend hours and hours breaking down my calendar and everything that I think about when I'm trying to prepare for the year ahead. But really, it's just noticing that, okay, we're at December 13th. In less than, another 2 weeks or so, we're going to be approaching 2026 together. We're going to go try and make 2026 a great year. And I love thinking about that stuff. I absolutely love the new year because it gives me time to map out my goals, to think about where I want to end up after the next year of my life, and to think about if I'm on the right track. So this next step is map out the goals that are truly yours. Fixing the problem is the best thing to come out of reflection. Ask yourself, what do I actually want for myself? If it's a new job title, maybe it's creative freedom or more time with loved ones or financial independence, whatever it is, outline the specific steps you can take to move toward it. This might mean researching a new career path, joining a creative class, building a budget, or even letting yourself rest and reset. It's not always about driving and pushing forward. Sometimes we have to realize we're in the season where we need to rest and reset before going again. And people miss that all the time. They just instead beat themselves up and say, I haven't done enough, instead of saying, I need to rest, I need to take this time, and then I'm going to get back after it after a few months or so. And that's often the case for people that are dealing with health struggles. They need to convince themselves to rest and reset, but it's not easy, but it is required, okay? So you might find that once you reconnect with your goals, the ones that reflect your values, not someone else's expectations, you feel more motivated and less distracted by what others are doing. So your goals have to be yours. They can't just be someone else's. They can't be something that you saw online. They've got to be something that is connected to you, your values, and what you want to see in your own life. That's what goes the furthest. And that's what I try to do with all my goals. This year, I think one of my goals is going to be to grow this YouTube channel. So if you're here, thank you so much. Hit the subscribe button. We're going to be pushing hard on this YouTube channel to provide all types of value to people that watch our channel. We're going to do product reviews. We're talking about setting up some travel ideas. We've got some live streams going on for this, but also maybe for some World Cup games and for, UFC and all of the sports that I like to watch. I might start live streaming for those. If any of this stuff sounds interesting, definitely let me know in the comments below. I'm doing my best to show up consistently here on social media, specifically on YouTube. And I want to continue to do that because I think that's really going to push me forward in 2026. Not only is it good for me to show up and use my voice every single day and talk and get in front of the camera, but it's also helpful long term for reaching out to people that need help. Because I've, like I said, I have a lot of experience helping people specifically with Lyme disease and co-infections, and I continue doing it day in and day out. But if they never hear from me, if they don't know I exist, if they don't know that we have some solutions to their problems, then it just all goes unnoticed and nobody will even know that we exist. So we're here trying to give as much value as possible to everybody that checks out our channel so that they can get whatever they need out of it, so that we can continue to provide for everyone around the world. But that's a big part of what my goals would comprise for 2026. And I implore you to try and figure out what's going to be the goals that push you forward in 2026. And I hope you'll come along for the ride. I hope you'll be part of the thing that we're building here. I think if you're watching this, you probably already fit in great. You probably already see the world with your cup half full instead of half empty. You probably already think about how you can stay more inspired, uplifted, healthy, happy, and create the life of your dreams and continue pushing towards your goals. And if you're that type of person, I want to be around you. And I want to create something that you feel comfortable and excited to be a part of. And so welcome, hit the subscribe button if that's you, and let's continue moving forward into 2026. Finally, your journey is valid, no comparison needed. It's human to compare ourselves to others, but constant self-judgment will never help us thrive. Let's continue moving forward, but let's not stay so focused on other people. Let's have our own goals that are truly ours, and let's take stock of our wins. And finally, let's identify what comparison is really triggering, whether it's insecurity, jealousy, loneliness, hatred. It could be so many different feelings that are being triggered from that comparison, but it's not the comparison itself that's hurting us. It's actually the shame and the feelings behind it that hurt us. So, very interesting stuff. I hope some of this landed for you. And if you're having that success envy, and if you're feeling behind in life, hopefully some of this helps you out and puts you on a journey to finally start feeling good again. Is finally start feeling like you're on the right path, especially in 2026 as we round out 2025 towards the end of the year here. And I am getting ready for Christmas. It is crazy. We have so much going on, so much just stuff to get done still around the house and with presents and with travel and so much more. So let me wrap today up a little bit here. We're going to jump into the reflection of the day with the daily laws. So let me remove this first. And finally, let's get into the daily law of today, 366 meditations. As a quick reminder, dang, I probably should have drank some more water after that 5K that I ran. As a reminder, the month of December in this book is centered around the cosmic sublime, which is a little bit ethereal. It's a little bit weird. It's a little bit out there. It's the idea that we're not just human beings. We're also connected to the universe at large. And so that is everything that's in the December month of this book. But when we get to January, the whole book starts back over again. So let's just read where we are anyway. And it is a little bit interesting. It's a little bit weird sometimes in December. I think it's really cool when you read from the beginning to the end, because you get the build up to that. It doesn't just start you off in the ethereal, strange idea of the cosmic sublime as the very first chapter. But here we are, and I decided to start going live in December. So that's what we're dealing with. That's what we're up against. All right. This is day 6 of being live every single day, episode 6 of the lunchtime lift, as we're calling it, because it's time to get inspired. It's time to lift ourselves up. What is it? A rising tide lifts all ships. That's what I was trying to say. And so we're doing this to try and help lift other people up and at least, give you some motivation to keep it kicking, keep it moving through the rest of the day. December 13th, How to View the World. Interesting title. All right. See yourself as an explorer. With the gift of consciousness, you stand before a vast and unknown universe that we humans have just begun to investigate. Most people prefer to cling to certain ideas and principles, many of them adopted early on in life. They are secretly afraid of what is unfamiliar and uncertain. They replace curiosity with conviction. By the time they are 30, they act as if they know everything they need to know. As an explorer, you leave all that certainty behind you. You are in continual search of new ideas and new ways of thinking. You see no limits to where your mind can roam, and you're not concerned with the suddenly appearing inconsistent or developing ideas that directly contradict what you believed a few months before. Ideas are things to play with. If you hold on to them for too long, they become something dead. You are returning to your childlike spirit and curiosity from before you had an ego, and being right was more important than connecting to the world. Wow, this one really hits for me. I'll explain more in a little bit, but you explore all forms of knowledge from all cultures and time periods. You want to be challenged. As part of this, be open to exploring the insights that come from your own unconscious as revealed in your dreams, in moments of tiredness, and in the repressed desires that leak out in certain moments. You have nothing to be afraid of or repress there. The unconscious is merely one more realm for you to freely explore. So the daily law summarized: by opening the mind in this way, you will unleash unrealized creative powers and you will give yourself great mental pleasure. Woo! This one hits. This one is very good. I like this one a lot. With the gift of consciousness, you stand before a vast and unknown universe that we humans must have just begun to investigate. So basically, I think this one really resonates with me because it basically breaks down the ego and people thinking like they know everything by the time they're 30 years old, when in fact there's so much more to learn. There's so many ideas out there. There's so many people that you won't agree with. There's so many things to play with, ideas to play with, curiosity. There's so much there. And for me, a big part of that has been starting this exact live stream that I do every single day from between 11, 12, 12 to 1, that range, lunchtime lift. Because, I kind of had this, I've been doing this for a very long time. I've been making YouTube videos since I was like 18. So since I became an adult many years ago, I've been making YouTube videos. And so with this live stream that I'm doing here, I have to kind of go back to the basics. I have to remind myself, look, you don't know everything. You don't have a huge audience following you around everywhere you go. Every time you go live, they see you. I can get people on the live stream. I have an email list. I have a lot of people that I work with. I have a lot of people that want to talk to me or see me live. But, this is brand new. I'm 6 days in. I can't expect anything other than learning, curiosity, ideas, maybe some chats. If you guys want to chat, hit me up in the chat. Where are you coming in from, right? Where are you tuning in from? And I'm going to get better as I go along. This isn't just going to go, 0 to a million. This isn't, back in the day when I thought I knew everything, I thought, oh yeah, it'll be easy to build an audience. I'll just go on YouTube and build an audience. Now I know that there's a lot more to it than that. And I realize it's going to be a lot of days with me talking to literally nobody or just one person. And that's completely fine. It's all part of the process. And so understanding that there is a process, understanding that it does take time, that there's ideas that need time to sit in people's minds, that I can share ideas, but that doesn't mean they're going to be used. The idea that I can stumble across new ideas any day and all the time, every day I see things that pique my curiosity, that I want to look further into, that I can try and find and try and share with more people online. I try to find these positive news stories every single day so that I can continue providing inspiration and uplifting stories that help people, or at least that inspire people or get people thinking about the good things going on in the world rather than the negative things that are constantly going on in the world all around us. And putting all of that together, it really made me think about this passage that I just read, where it was like, people often think they need to know everything before doing anything. To me, this live stream perfectly encapsulates this and basically shows me that I just have to keep showing up. I just have to keep trying. I just have to keep doing my best, being curious, showing up and sharing the things that I'm learning. And if I continue to do that day in and day out, I'm sure good things will come from it. Even if it just means I help one person think about the world a little bit differently or have a little bit more inspiration, that's all I'm trying to do here. I'm not trying to absolutely blow up or change the whole world or anything like that. I just want some small momentum here. I find it fun. I find it interesting to push myself to give back to the world in this way. And hopefully you do too. Hopefully you like it. Hopefully it gives you something to look forward to, even just a little bit. So hopefully this message hits with you today. Hopefully it resonates with you, and hopefully you're starting to see that success envy does not need to exist. You don't need to have those feelings around being jealous around other people getting success when you're trying to do the same thing or trying to move along that path as well. Use it as inspiration. If you're looking at people that are ahead of you and constantly hating them or feeling jealous or feeling envy, you're doing something wrong. You've got to kind of step back, get your ego out of the picture, and honestly, being proud of people that are ahead of you has an impact on how fast you're able to get ahead yourself. And it took me a long time to learn this, but now when I see someone who succeeds, I go, wow, what an amazing person. It must have taken so much out of them to be able to do that. They must have tried so hard. They must have had so many sleepless nights. They must have had so much, they must have worked so hard. When before, just 5-10 years ago, when I was early on this journey, I used to see someone that succeeded and think, they got lucky, they got handed to them, they got free money, they got this person promoting them, they have this relationship, whatever it was. I would make excuses to try and make myself feel better. And I would try to tear them down to try to make myself feel better. Instead of looking at it with the truth in mind. That person probably worked hard. They probably tried their best. They probably tried things that failed. They probably worked over and over and over and over again. They probably had a million ideas and only one of them worked, right? And so much more. So I try to give more credit where credit's due. I try to be proud of other people because I know that pride will come back and affect me and my soul and how I show up. And I think that having that mindset and having that mind frame when seeing other people succeed only helps us succeed in our own lives. But having that mindset of hatred or jealousy or envy can actually tear yourself down. It actually hurts your own soul. It actually hurts the way you show up in the world. And that's what I've learned in 2025 in a big way. So hopefully this message resonates with you. It is Saturday, December 13th, and I'm going to wrap up now. Let me just cue up an exit song here, and we will ride out into the sunset, and we will live to see another day. So I actually made this song on Suno earlier today. It's called Chasing the Sun. I basically said, let me get an upbeat song that's refined and deep that helps me get ready to run a 5K, because I did run that 5K today. I want it to be deep, emotional, brilliant, and bright. And so I gave it all those prompts, and it made this awesome song. So anyway, I hope you're feeling okay. I hope you're hanging in there. I hope you have an amazing weekend. I hope you have some ideas after watching this, or some ways that you can show up for yourself now and in 2026. Some goals that you're working on, something you're working on in your life. I want to hear about it. Share it with us in the comments below. Share it in the chat. Let's support each other through 2026. We will grow together. A rising tide lifts all ships, and you, my friend, will be lifted up this year.
The road ahead will test my I'm chasing the sun, chasing the fire, burning my fears, climbing higher and higher, one step at a time. I'm breaking through, chasing the sun, chasing something true.
All right, have an amazing weekend. I will see you tomorrow, 11, 12, around that time, for lunchtime lift, where I'll again share some uplifting stories, some self-improvement tips or things that I'm thinking about, and of course our daily reflection from the Daily Laws by Robert Greene. And I thank you so much for tuning in today, and I'll see you tomorrow. Thanks so much. My name's Ryan Kearns, and don't forget to subscribe, by the way.